Thank you for listening to Comics for Fun and Profit. This is Colin Drew, and this time we will be bringing you another movie review. Drew and myself went and saw Spider-Man Far From Home, so we thought we'd break out and give you a completely spoiler-filled spoiler warning. We will spoil this movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it and cue us back up on the ride home. So we wanted to talk about Spider-Man Far From Home, our thoughts on the ending of the MCU, and a very good Spider-Man movie. So, Drew, where do you want to start?
I think overall, my reaction was it was fun. It was a good movie. I really liked this Spider-Man, and a fun movie, top notch.
I had a really good time with it. It had some great humor, some great fun times. Not quite to the Ragnarok level of just unbridled comic joy and stuff like that. Not but on par with, I'd say, some of the Guardians movies, and just a fun, enjoyable watch. Those are the kind of movies that I watch over and over. Like, I'll watch Guardians and Ragnarok over and over because they're lighthearted and fun. And I think this will be in that same mix for a movie that I'll watch over and over and over again, just for the pure joy of it. Because,
No,
you won't watch this one again?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, this is a fun one that I'd watch again, definitely. Because I've already got some things I have to go back and that I think I missed that I've got to watch. But yeah, I'll watch this again before I watch Endgame again.
Yeah, I'll everything you said, all the movies you mentioned, Ragnarok, Guardians, both Guardians and Endgame, I have watched and will watch again, and I will probably, if this is on like an HBO, I might watch it again, but I don't know. Yeah. No, I don't know if it has watchability, because it was a little long.
Yeah, it was about 2 hours. It was a little skosh over 2 hours.
And Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio, fantastic.
Oh, so good.
He did a really good job. I knew Mysterio was a villain.
Yeah, Quentin Beck, we know, is just, he's a liar and not a good guy.
Been reading
but
Spidey for a while. From
a different universe, so maybe Mysterio from a different universe is different.
So they easily manipulated me.
Yes.
I was putty in their hands, and I was like, oh yeah, he's from a multiverse. Sure, okay, he's a good Mysterio. And I followed it. I took the hook, and they set it right firmly in my cheek, and away I went on that one until the reveal. And I was like, oh, he is bad.
The old bar scene, if you will.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised because from the trailers and things I'd watched, there was a lot of lamenting Tony Stark, lamenting Iron Man, and I thought, I don't want to watch a movie about lamenting the father you never had after the previous fathers you never had, and a mopey, sad sack Spider-Man. But we didn't get that, thankfully. We got Tony Stark in almost every single scene in the background somewhere, plastered, muralized, on a TV, everything.
Think you got a check for that?
Yeah, definitely. But we didn't dwell on him. It wasn't... He just happened to... Like, this universe, he's just in it. But it wasn't a thing we dwelled on. It wasn't something that Spider-Man talked about and talked about and Peter talked about. So I was pleasantly surprised by the amount of that was in there. And just, man, it was a fun ride. It was a high school, romance. It was the lighthearted, can I be the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man? No, I'm being pulled in another direction. That is the quintessential Peter Parker that I like. His desire for a real life and his inability to have that.
Yeah, definitely. I really enjoyed the exposition at the beginning about the blips, and people were called blips that had disappeared and came back, and it started off pretty cool as like a we were commenting on like the way it was starting, and we're like, boy, this is really bad CGI and
really
low res imagery.
Houston, come on!
Yeah, it was, and we were worried. And then it turned out to be a high school
Yeah, the last one popped up Getty Images, and you're like,
Yeah.
it's meant to look like they stole it directly from Google.
And then they kind of explained that, half the high school disappeared, came back 5 years later, the same age, and everybody else had grown up 5 years later while everybody else was there, and then they still had to go through high school with them, and some of them were like they were their younger brother when they left and came back as their older brother, and there was some interesting things there, and it was a cool little way to explore that a little bit, and kind of harken back to, hey, we're firmly in the Marvel U.
Yeah, and even though they'd gone through half of the school year, they're all back in the same grade they were during the blip.
yeah, that upset the one dude.
Yes, very much so, very much so. And it's funny because, like, we saw later when Flash is on the airplane, he's drinking an alcoholic beverage because his ID would say he's 21, but he blipped for 5 years, so he's actually 16, but would have a birthday 21 years ago.
Yes. Yeah, we had a cool cast of characters in the high. We have Flash, and who isn't a bad Flash.
One of the most disappointing things about this Spider-Man is how Flash is not a bully, really. Flash is not menacing. Flash is not beating up Peter. Flash is just a neglected rich kid D-bag who actually has more problems than Peter, and we see that already. So they're already trying to make us sympathetic for him, but, like, Peter literally gets the crap kicked out of him in almost every other iteration of Flash Thompson, aside from what we have here.
That's an interesting choice, interesting way to go. We have Ned. A fun character. Liked him a lot in the Miles Morales book. So they thought they'd just yank him over here. That's pretty cool. I'm not sure if this Becky person is a standard classmate from Peter Parker's past or not.
Yeah, we know her from before. Well, from comic lore or from last movie.
And then of course MJ. Yeah, if you watched her in Euphoria on HBO, very different character than the cute little high school crush of Peter Parker in this. So yeah, that's kind of fun. Acting, isn't that amazing?
Yeah, but I think she does a much better job of being likable in this movie as opposed to the last one, where the last one she's just kind of snarky with everything. In this one, she's timid. In this one, you can see she's locking eyes and gazing away from Peter Parker. In this one, you can see the high school crush thing and how awkward things are as a 16-year-old. And she had a really great series of lines where she fell in love with an Italian word that was the opposite of aloha, the dough or whatever it was, bow. Yeah, and I enjoyed that scene with her as well.
Yeah, they had really great chemistry together. The teachers that were the chaperones for the European trip, they had some great lines, and they were really good comic relief throughout.
Yeah, I need to see if anybody needs any counseling over the things that we learned, because I'm nowhere near qualified for that.
And the one dude kept thinking it was witchcraft the whole way.
Ned and Beth's little summer love affair is so fun, and they just act like they're this couple that's been together forever. Really like that.
And then we get awesome. Some interaction with Happy and Aunt May are dating, which that was an interesting choice. We get the Peter Tingle, which would have landed a lot stronger if I hadn't seen it in the trailers too much. That one fell flat in the theater because it had been in the second trailer cut that was pervasive. I think that was a mistake. Because it was a funny line, but it wasn't as funny as it would have been if it would have landed fresh.
And in all reality, a lot of what this movie was based around is him and being able to get himself in the right headspace to learn to use his spidey sense. So that was a giant section of this whole movie, and it was a throwaway giggles line in the trailer. And I like the fact that we saw the thing with the cops and the interaction with him and the friendly neighborhood stuff in the trailer.
True.
Nowhere in the movie at all.
It was not. And we, we get some Nick Fury and what's her name, Maria Hill. Yeah. The
Maria Hill?
Kobe Smulders. Yeah, she looked old.
Kobe Smulders, yeah.
She looked old in this, and
well, here, you want to jump into that, or do you want to go through stuff before we jump into?
I was just going to say both her and Samuel L. Jackson looked very old, and didn't feel. Their scenes fell really flat for me. I did not like them in the movie at all.
Correct, and I think that's a directorial choice because at the end, in the post credits, we find out they're Skrulls. So they acted and did things that were not Maria Hill and Nick Fury. And is it worth having them so dead in this whole movie just for that kind of reveal and that kind of revelation? Because that was not Samuel L. Jackson, how he normally plays Fury. That was not how Maria Hill normally carries it. And we find out it's because it's Skrulls acting like them. But for me, that reveal isn't worth watching how crappy they
really
were in
good
this
at their
movie.
job, Skrulls? Yeah. If that was a directorial choice, that was a bad one.
It was. I mean, I'm sure, because even the "bitch, you've been to space," that is a Samuel Jackson line. That is not a Nick. That's not something I think Nick Fury would say.
Yeah, you're right.
But that's something a Skrull pretending to be
so
Nick
in
Fury
retrospect, we should have seen that, I guess. Recognized that.
And we did. We thought it was Chameleon. I mean, I did. I talked about this for a while beforehand. That it didn't seem like Fury. And it turns out I was right. But I wasn't going Skrulls much as I was thinking Chameleon. Who it also turned out was probably in this movie. Because Chameleon's real name is what, Drew?
Oh,
Dimitri.
Okay.
Who did we meet as the
Dimitri,
bus driver and extra S.H.I.E.L.D. agent? Dimitri. And Marvel tends to not use names flippantly unless they mean what they actually mean. So that may be yet another Sinister Six. Although we don't know how he would end up on the other side. I think you've read a BuzzFeed
article.
Yada, yada, yada.
I don't think you picked up on that on your own.
No. I talked in this. This came from another one of the individuals.
Yeah,
we were banting back and forth after the
shout out to Dom.
That came back up. So I'm not sure.
What Civil War is not a top 5 Marvel movie.
Yeah, he was angry as soon as he met you. He was like, "What?
I don't know if it's top 10."
Crazy.
Dom.
That's right.
So then wasn't a big fan of those two, and then we did get Mysterio. We got Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio. I thought he did a great job.
Man, he did a great job. And we tied it back into Tony Stark. We tied it back into Iron Man 3. We did, so many cool things with it where it made sense. The tech made sense. The deception made sense. The a little bit unhinged made sense. Everything was like, I get it. Because, we're taking these characters from the 1970s and stuff when we didn't have the technological aspects we have now. And we think about things like, I don't know if Mysterio could pull the wool over so many people's eyes in this day and age. But then they come out with a wonderfully well-working reason why it would work.
Yeah,
even
you've
better
got
in 2019.
The VR tech, and you've got the hologram tech, and then you've got the drone tech to do the damage, and it worked pretty perfectly.
Yep.
Pretty effortlessly for them to trick everyone with the elemental villains, which...
Yeah, because, originally we have Magma Man, Hydro Man, Sand Man, and legitimate characters, and we've kind of made them a little generic in this one and just gone with elementals.
We only had one villain, and I kind of like that. It's one movie. Let's do one villain. Which everyone's talking about the Sinister Six being on the horizon, and when movies get crowded like that, I always worry. It's tough to do them right. So I like the one villain, one movie kind of scenario, and that worked really well. Yeah, there were these glasses, Edith glasses that Tony Stark had given to Peter. And what did Edith stand for? Do you remember?
Oh, something defense.
Something. Yeah. Something. Something interesting.
Earth defense.
Top of my head. But he ended up getting conned out of those glasses by the Mysterio character, and that worked very well. I thought I bought that hook, line, and sinker too. So I thought that was well done. And then, to just kind of see the Mysterio character turn from this very likable, charismatic, nice guy to evil mastermind was really a joy to behold. It was really a good performance by him. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
And then when we started getting into the battles inside the holograms, and they were just the complete confusion and terror that he was wreaking on Peter, and but it was brilliant stuff, brilliant filmmaking, and it really made me regret not going to the 3D movie. I think the 3D movie would. I think
that's what you said, and I hadn't even thought of that.
The 3D version would have been really fantastic because of the aspects that sometimes 3D is just a waste, most of the time. But I think this would be cool in 3D, and I guess if I do see it again, maybe I'd go back and see it in 3D just to see. But the battles were fantastic, and just very inventive and trippy. It was really a cool cinematic experience.
Yeah, very cool. I was really impressed with Gyllenhaal. Of course, from the very beginning, we meet him in the kind of the S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters, and he and Parker hit it off because we get the cool scene where they talk about the multiverse and being from a different universe. And then my spidey sense immediately tingled when Mysterio said that the current Earth is 616, and we know that's not true as comic book geeks. So I was like, wait, that's not true. We know that's not true. Because 616 is our comic universe. Our MCU universe is 19999. So I was just a little bit like, okay,
where did we get that number at?
A little bit. So we got that through something with Captain Marvel. I think it's in the comic. There's a comic book for Captain Marvel where the MCU Captain Marvel pops into the comic from 19999.
Oh, okay.
So we do know our universe for MCU, and it's not 616 because that's our comic universe. So my ears perked up a little bit at that because I was like, nope.
Okay, and there was a reason for that because he was lying.
Yeah, and it turns out it's full of crap. But in a cool way. I loved the reveal. I loved the bar scene. I loved how he had a little bit of a mentoring with Parker, where they sat on the ledge earlier, and then they had the drink afterwards, and it seemed to make sense. You don't need to be an Avenger. You don't need to be everything. I'll go and help these people. There's nothing left in my Earth for this. Sure, I'll take the glasses. Yada yada yada. And
yes,
it turned out to be the wrong call. But there is literally a movie before that happens and a movie after that happens.
Yes.
And, super well done.
Beats the big bad. So he beats Mysterio using his spider sense, so he can get around the holograms and stuff, which I thought was really cool. Gets his kiss with Zendaya, which is nice. MJ.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
has some fun times with Happy before that. Happy has a lot. John Favreau's character has a lot to do in this. I thought that was cool. And then we get some post credit, mid credit scenes.
Mid credit, probably my favorite mid credit scene. I was talking to some people about that. I thought that was my favorite mid credit scene of all time, and they're saying no. At one point, we got the reveal of Thanos.
Yeah, that was a great mid credit. The end credit sucked, but the mid credit was really good. The mid credit was the Skrull reveal, right? That was the end credit.
Nope, that was the end credit.
So that would be the J. Jonah Jameson cameo.
Yeah. When we end our movie, we get the happy ending, and we get Pete flying around with his girlfriend through Manhattan or whatnot, and we're like, all right, cool, man. The third one's going to be back in high school, and we get our happiness, and he's going to be friendly neighborhood and everything. And Peter Parker got his happy ending. Now, you and I should know Peter Parker is not allowed to have a happy ending. So then we get our mid-credits, and man, Marvel rocks. Because not only did they completely take the entire movie we saw, throw it into a ball in the heap in the corner, and completely change it, they did it by bringing J.K. Simmons back. The J. Jonah Jameson of old back again. And they changed him from the Daily Bugle to the dailybugle.net. So not only is he not a newspaper now he's an Alex Jones type conspiracy online thing. And he sends us this edited tape from Mysterio that paints, of course, Spider-Man. I knew he was evil. And then at the end of that we get, and Spider-Man's true identity is, and we're all like, no. And then we get Static, and we're like, oh, thank goodness. And then boom, pops back in.
The world now knows. The entire world that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Yeah. What does that mean? I have no idea.
That means our high school third movie is out the window. That means our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is out the window. Those days are gone. We cannot do that now. We're not going back to high school. We're forced into bigger, better things of defending ourselves, watching our back, not having a way to hide. All of our loved ones are now not safe.
Yeah,
that's
so
the world he's in.
I'm curious what that means for the next movie and how they do that. But it was a really powerful mid-credit scene. Very cool. Then we made the mistake of sticking around for the final post-credit scene, and that thing was the Skrull reveal, which was okay. That was kind of interesting. And then
yeah. And I like those Skrulls. I like those were one of my top.
But then we go
Marvel.
to a shot of Samuel L. Jackson on a beach, which isn't really. It was obvious it was a green screen beach, and then we get to see him walking around in bare feet on a spaceship with a whole bunch of Skrulls, and I could glean nothing from that.
Sword. We know what it meant. It means sword. Shield and sword.
But what does that mean? What does that mean?
That means it's space cops.
What movie is that then going to be?
SWORD is a fictional counterterrorism and intelligence agency appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics. Its purpose is to deal with extraterrestrial threats to world security and is in space-based counterpart of S.H.I.E.L.D., which deals with local threats to the world. So what that means to me is Phase 4 is cosmic, which is my least favorite part of comic books.
Like Galactus and Silver Surfer and more more Guardians of the Galaxy.
You know, I'm fine with more Guardians. Eternals is, of course, going to be cosmic. We're going to get Captain Marvel 2, which is, of course, going to be cosmic. We're going to, at some point, finish the Adam Warlock stuff, which is going to be cosmic. So, what this says to me is...
For how long?
And that's what
for
we're
a whole
doing.
phase?
Which kind of... I mean,
for a year or
yes.
two, I guess I'll be okay with it.
Because, I mean, we did big potatoes. I mean, things would be small potatoes if we just went back to Earth and did Doctor Doom again. They say, that's what I want, is I want Doom. But it looks like I'm not going to get Doctor Doom. It looks like we're going for Beyonders or whoever and whatever and all these people.
So maybe we're going to end with a Secret Wars?
Yes, that's that kind of thing, exactly.
Okay. All right, you got a lot more out of that scene than I did. I was swimming in popcorn at that point. And
well, I mean, why else would Fury be in space? Okay, what's S.H.I.E.L.D. in space? Oh, that's actually a thing. It's called S.W.O.R.D.
Okay. So, all right. So, more Skrulls, more space, another Captain Marvel, obviously. How does Black Panther 2 fit into that?
More Marvel. Oh, that's a great question. I don't know. Maybe Doctor Strange is teleporting him places. I mean, because he has to stay on Earth and be the Avengers.
Yeah,
So
Black Panther 2 can't. I don't want him in space. I want more Wakanda action.
I don't either.
Whatever Black Panther storylines there are, they better not screw that up too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So this is the third Tom Holland Spider-Man, because one of them was the Avengers.
Well, we had him in Civil War. We had him in we had him in both Avengers movies, and we had him in his own too.
Whatever.
So that's 5 total.
So he's done. Or that deal is done, I think. And so now we have to figure out what's next for it. And is it more MCU?
Yeah.
Does Sony just say, you know what, we can do better with Marvel than without them? We should keep this partnership alive, or you know what, we can do as good as this by ourselves. We don't need to be MCU connected anymore. We just want to tell Spidey stories. I don't know. I'm curious which way it goes. And I just hope Tom Holland sticks around.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm trying to read up. Sorry. There's conflicting reports on, for those, this means he's completed 5 of 6 movies.
Okay.
So he still has 1 more on the contract.
And is that what we're thinking might be the Sinister Six then?
Sinister Six, yeah, that's what we're thinking. So yeah, he's done 5 of 6, and we don't know the future from that point on. But all in all, great movie. Homecoming was usually in my top 5, or right there in the 5, 6, 7 range. I liked this better than Homecoming, so this movie is high up in my rank. I super liked it. I had a lot of fun with it. The only thing I didn't like was the post credits scene. Lighthearted, fun. For being a longer movie, it paced well, and I didn't get antsy and move around my seat a bunch. So, man, it was great. I loved it. Do more of these. Marvel knocked it out of the park again.
Yeah, definitely top half of the
4.
MCU movies for me, and worth the trip to the theater. Fun time. Thumbs up.
There you go. So, Comics for Fun and Profit, an official recommendation, official enjoyment of Spider-Man Far From Home. And boy, now we got to wait a long time for whatever's next from Marvel. But we want to thank you guys for taking this half-hour ride with us through what Kyle and Drew thought of Spider-Man Far From Home. Feel free to drop us a line on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Throw us a Gmail. all that stuff. All these things can be found at comicsfunprofit.com. Be part of the conversation. Did you not like this movie? Did you love this movie? What was your favorite part? What was your least favorite part? Or do you have some more information on things like Dimitri and Chameleon that we missed? Or Sword and Shield that we missed? School us on these things. Help us out here. We appreciate it. We always love to have you guys involved in our conversation. So thank you so much for Drew and for myself. See ya.